limited access to advanced characterization tools, cost and availability of materials, that is the second pain point. The third pain point is time-consuming synthesis and fabrication processes. Fourth pain point is understanding and predicting material behavior. And the fifth and the last one is environmental sustainability and waste management. Hello everyone, this is Pranuti, your host of Under the Microscope. And today's episode is very, very unique and interesting. At least it's interesting for me, and I'm sure it will be interesting for you. So I'm trying two new things in today's episode of Under the Microscope. The first new thing is I'm only recording the audio, so the podcast, and not the video that goes on the YouTube channel of the Science Talk. So if you would like to see the videos of the podcast recording on the YouTube channel of the Science Talk, do let me know. There is a survey at the bottom. So if you just scroll up in the Spotify, there is a survey. So please let me know if you prefer consuming this content video plus audio. That is the first new thing that I'm doing or I'm trying. And the second new thing is I have finally got to check out, wait for it, ChatGPT. Yes, the famous ChatGPT. I have been avoiding it, protecting myself from the whole shebang because I do have a very addictive personality, and I thought, okay, maybe, oh my god, if I discover it, and then I will be there talking to the ChatGPT, chatting with the ChatGPT. But then very recently, my friend pointed out that Satya, who is based in Pune in India, she pointed out that, she didn't really point it out, she just gave me the look, which was like, you want to be the CEO of the Science Talk, you should be the first one to bring science, ChatGPT crossover, material science, ChatGPT crossover, advantage, disadvantages, your review, and all of that jazz. You should be the first one to do that. And how have you not done it since, what is up with you? What is wrong with you? So, out of that guilt, I think that was the last push I needed to get into ChatGPT. So in today's episode, the script of today's episode is completely created by ChatGPT. So it's going to be very, very interesting. It's also interesting for me as a material scientist and also as someone who was a scientist, who was an active scientist for more than 10 years. It's also interesting to see that. So the topic, what I asked ChatGPT is, tell me 5 main pain points of material scientists from around the world. That was it. That's all I did. And I think this was like the third question that I put in the chat after asking what is material science, what is nanoscience. I'm still in this Google search sort of keyword phase. I need to get over that probably. I don't know. Let me know what you do with ChatGPT. I mean, I don't want to know everything, but some unique things if you want to share. So, starting with the episode, coming to the episode, of course. Tell me 5 main pain points of material scientists from around the world. So, it did come up with 5 pain points, and those are really relatable, and I totally understand. I totally understand. And this is rather in line with all the pain points that we have identified with the scientists on Under the Microscope podcast. So the 100 plus scientists on Under the Microscope podcast, and also during my science active time of 10 years. So these I can tell you as a scientist, as an ex-scientist, non-active scientist, material scientist, that these pain points are very close to what I expected. So let's have at it. Alrighty, so the 5 pain points, I'm gonna tell you the 5 pain points, and then we can go into the summary as well. So the first one is limited access to advanced characterization tools, and we will go into the details later, but yeah, first we go to the list. Limited access to advanced characterization tools, cost and availability of materials, that is the second pain point. The third pain point is time-consuming synthesis and fabrication processes. Fourth pain point is understanding and predicting material behavior. And the fifth and the last one is environmental sustainability and waste management. Okay, let's get into the details. Oh my God. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, by the way, my reactions like, oh my God, this is so cool and all of that jazz, this is not from ChatGPT, just FYI. These are my own reactions. All the serious stuff is from ChatGPT, I think, with a sprinkle of my reactions and my own emotions and thoughts in this episode. Okay, so first one, limited access to advanced characterization tools. What ChatGPT says as a description is material scientists often require sophisticated instruments and equipment for analyzing the properties and structure of materials at the atomic or molecular level. However, access to such advanced tools can be limited, particularly for researchers in developing countries or those working in smaller institutions. Bang on, very crisp, very precise, completely agree with this description of limited access to advanced characterization tools. Second pain point, cost and availability of materials. Obtaining specific materials for research purposes can be a significant challenge. Some materials may be expensive or difficult to procure, particularly when working with rare elements or specialized compounds. The cost and availability of materials can constrain research progress and limit exploration into new areas. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but this is another very, very bang on pain point that ChatGPT identified and came up with, especially the rare earth elements or rare elements, because that is something that I worked with. I worked with the yttrium and a bunch of others which are not in my mind right now, but it was really difficult to get our hands on those rare elements. Even in Germany, even when I was doing my research in Germany, it was very difficult, and we had to be extremely careful and extremely mindful of not wasting the element. So definitely the cost and availability of materials is definitely a pain point of a material scientist. Moving on to the third one, which is time-consuming synthesis and fabrication processes. So the description says, developing new materials or modifying existing ones often involves complex synthesis or fabrication processes. These processes can be time-consuming, requiring extensive optimization and experimentation. The need for efficient and scalable synthesis methods is a persistent challenge in material science. Absolutely. This is another right hitting the bullseye. I wonder why we call it a bullseye. Maybe I should ask ChatGPT. But the last sentence, oh my God, the need for efficient and scalable synthesis is very, very important. Scalable synthesis methods is a very persistent challenge for sure. Like what works in the lab needs to work in on the market shelf, or the experiment that works in the lab also needs to work in an industry or production setup or production line. So this is very, very, very relatable. Trust me, my PhD was in a research institute which also had its own production line, or a very sophisticated production line. And my research was supposed to get into the production line. But yeah, that's a different story. Point is, this is definitely a pain point. Time-consuming synthesis and fabrication processes. Definitely. This is the third one. Then the fourth one is understanding and predicting material behavior. This one is very interesting. Oh, by the way, I haven't read this script created by ChatGPT before recording. So this is also me first time reading it because I wanted the experience to be as authentic and my reactions to be as authentic as possible and as spontaneous as possible. So the fourth pain point is understanding and predicting material behavior. The description says, material scientists aim to understand the relationship between the structure, composition, and properties of materials. Big yes. However, predicting and controlling material behavior at different length scales can be complex and challenging. Yes, it is. This includes understanding the effects of defects, interfaces, and external stimuli on material performance. Oh my God, this is, I feel seen and heard by ChatGPT. It's ridiculous how seen and heard I feel, because these are all the pain points that I personally faced when I was doing research, or every time I speak with scientists, material scientists specifically from around the world for the Under the Microscope podcast. Either all of these points come up or at least 2 to 3 of these points come up for sure in all my conversations or all my interactions with scientists, not just on the Under the Microscope podcast, but also in real life when I'm speaking with my friends who are still active scientists or who used to be scientists. It's like, oh my God, why did you leave science? Because of these reasons. So definitely pain points. 100 out of 100 for ChatGPT. To be honest, no, are we still doing 100 out of 100, or do we do like 5 stars out of 5 stars or 10 stars? I don't know what the latest review meter is. I don't know. Okay, so last one, moving on to the last pain point faced by material scientists from around the world: environmental sustainability and waste management. This is so important. Oh my God. So the description says, many materials science processes involve the use of chemicals and energy-intensive methods, which can have adverse environmental impacts. Developing sustainable and environmentally friendly approaches to material synthesis, processing, and waste management is a growing concern for material scientists. Balancing performance requirements with sustainability considerations is a significant pain point in the field. This is, I actually did not realize how big of a pain point this is, or the magnitude of this issue, until very recently. I have to be honest, until very recently when we had Julio Terra from EPFL on Under the Microscope, and he's doing green chemistry, and I was like, what the fuck is green chemistry? What are you talking about? Are you doing like renewable energy? Like what? And he was like, no, green chemistry means you have as less amount of waste as possible, and whatever waste you create should be, in the best case scenario, should be reused, so to say. So environmental sustainability and waste management, it's a huge topic, and definitely a pain point for sure. So yeah, those are the 5 main pain points. To summarize: limited access to advanced characterization tools, cost and availability of materials, time-consuming synthesis and fabrication processes, understanding and predicting material behavior, environmental sustainability, and waste management. These are the 5 main pain points faced by material scientists around the world. This script was created by ChatGPT, so thank you very much, ChatGPT. Now I have to record too many episodes because I have all the ideas, and so far I did not have the capacity to write the scripts, but now you have addressed that pain point for me. Let's go with that. So do let me know what you thought about this episode, and what would you like me to discuss, or what would you like me to ask ChatGPT, which I think you can already ask, but I can also provide you a material scientist perspective on it. So do let me know which other topics are you interested in. I mean, it's not like I don't have enough topics in my mind, but I'm curious to hear which topics would you like me to cover on Under the Microscope. as a materials and nanoscientist. So that is it. This was the episode. And if you like the episode, please, you have to like it, of course. If you like the episode, please share it with your networks, with your friends, your family, I was going to say pets, but then I realized, hey, what the hell? See, this is why I need ChatGPT to write the script for me, because I think faster than I talk. So then it's happening again. Alrighty. If you like this episode, if you like Under the Microscope, make sure you add it to your favorites list or follow list or leave a review list or download list or whichever podcast platform you're using. And do let me know what kind of, which topic would you like me to cover in the next episode or next coming episodes of Under the Microscope. Do let me know. I'm really curious about it. And do take the survey at the end of the, if you scroll up. If you go down on Spotify specifically, I know that if you do that, there is a possibility for polls and surveys and questions and blah. So this will be very helpful. Please take the time to fill it out. I think I might add like 2 to 3 questions or so. I should be more prepared than this. ChatGPT is already spoiling me. But yeah, it won't take you more than a minute or more than 30 seconds, to be honest, depending on what you want to write. So please do that. Take the survey so that I can understand you as my audience better, because I have some hypothesis, but I would like to validate it, or I would like to support it with the data, and the data would be your survey responses. So with that, thank you very much for listening and sticking till the end. This was a very interesting experience for me. I hope this was also an interesting experience for you. 5 main pain points of material scientists around the world. And do let me know, specifically, last thing, okay, I promise. Do let me know if you put these keywords in ChatGPT, what kind of responses you get. Because it would be interesting if I get this response and you get some other responses. So I would be curious about that as well. So, now I'm going to let you go, and thank you very much for listening, and keep showing your support to Under the Microscope. Really appreciate it. We definitely need it to grow this project. And yes, that's me, Pranoti, your host of Under the Microscope, a material scientist myself. Thank you very much. See you in the next episode. Abstract submission for the 6th Nanoscientific Forum Europe 2023 is now open. Join this European SPM meeting and be part of exciting talks from the nano research field, practical hands-on sessions, and a thrilling social program in Barcelona's Flair, hosted by ICFO, Barcelona, Spain. See you in Barcelona in September 2023.